Good morning, Michael Walsh and Roger Norgel here. Welcome to Norwal Farm. It's Friday, January the 23rd. It got down to 16 below last night here, and that's what it was this morning when we got up. It's about 9:30. I'm here in the barn and it is minus 2 degrees. You can see all but 2 of the lambs are using the brooder. The 2 that aren't, right there, that's the place they picked out. Those lambs are about 4 days old. This morning, this tank had some ice on it. There was no insulation between the tank and the wall. There's actually a bit of a hole at the bottom of the barn foundation, so the west wind was blowing right in here, so it froze over. The tank over there for these ewes was still thawed, so it's got a good insulation around it with the bedding there. So that's holding out okay. These 2 ewes here, obviously their buckets froze, but I've given them hot water and it cools off a bit and they drink it. So they've been refreshed. Everybody's feeding in here today. So we'll see how this tank over here does. I may go purchase one of those floating de-icers. I don't know. We'll see how it does because we've got to keep fresh water in front of them. But anyway, no worse for wear. The 2 lambs back there, the black lamb and the white lamb that are on the Ile de France. I still see that black lamb trying to steal. So I offered them a bottle today, and they did take about 2.5 ounces each. So we'll see how they do. I think I'm probably going to end up supplementing them a little bit. But anyway, it is really cold in the barn, but everybody made it through okay. It is currently, well, it was 16 below this morning, and this tank has a clear spot on the top, and it's right out in the elements. But yeah, I guess there's just one. No, there's 2 tank de-icers in there. There's one on the bottom, and then there's that floating one. So the combination will keep it thawed out for us. So that tells me what I need to usually do in the really cold weather. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. High temperature today was minus 8 degrees outside, and at I guess it's 4:30. It is 7 degrees in the barn. So that's come up almost 10 degrees. It was minus 2 this morning. Everything is doing pretty well. I did enlarge this pen for these 2 ewes and their lambs. Suffolk cross twins had jumped through the gate and was bouncing around, so I've got this pretty well contained. So gives them some extra space. They still got their 2 brooders, but they'll get used to finding mom with just the 2 ewes in here. And probably another day or 2, I'll take those gates down and just let them have this whole area. I'll probably just go straight out from here over to the feeder, let those have that part, and use the lambs have this part. But all in all, it's working pretty well. I did go pick up another floating de-icer, so there's 2 in that tank, and that should keep that thawed tonight. It works pretty well. The Jacob lambs, the twins, offered a bottle this morning. They actually took about 2.5 ounces, kind of nursed on the bottle, fought a little bit, and this evening same thing. They nursed about 2 ounces, and then the last ½ ounce I kept it in their mouths. So still not decided whether or not they need the bottle. I see them trying to steal from the other sheep, so that tells me they're hungry. So I think I'll just consistently keep offering the bottle morning and night, and as they get bigger and their demand for food increases, I think they will start taking the bottle. So that's about it for today. I don't think it's supposed to be quite as cold tomorrow, I hope. I haven't really looked. But we're in for several cold nights and days through the weekend into, I think, till Monday next week, and then we get a little bit of break from it. But then all of next week, it's kind of single digits and below 0 at night again. So we'll have a little while of this, but we're getting through it. A very important piece of equipment in our office here is the coffee maker. We have this little 1-cup coffee maker, and especially this really cold weather, It's really nice to be able to have a hot cup of coffee out here. It is Saturday, January the 24th. It was, I think it got down to 14 below last night. It was 5 degrees below zero when I came out at 9 o'clock. It is 16 in the barn, so that's 21 degrees higher. I did some rearrangement on the pens today. I let the two ewes that were in here, Suffolk lambs and then the white lambs, I let them out with the other group. Lambs are doing fine. I blocked that off right there with that wire panel. So lambs can go in here. There's 2 brooders in here. I put just a little bit of grain in there. They might nibble on it. But I did have it open so the ewes were going in there, but the ewe would get in there and her lambs that aren't hers are in there and she starts a button on them. So it'll just be safer just to make this another lamb creep area. So they've got 3 brooders. All the lambs are doing well. They're bouncing around. Although this little guy here, that one, this morning he was in here underneath the lamb cage. Just his head was sticking out. And I heard this lamb crying. He was there last night and I didn't think anything about it. Long story short, he was under there, but he couldn't get out. So pulled him out this morning. He was hungry. Drank his belly full, and he's doing fine. So I blocked that off down there so nobody else can get in there. That's the first time I've had that happen, but it does happen. Sometimes they crawl under there, and then when they try to get out, it's just too tight and they can't get out. But everybody seems to be settled down pretty well. This is the white twins that were just let out. They're right there with Mom. So have to get ready to take everything down to the sheds today and get everybody down there fed. But you can see the Suffolk ewe. She's attentive to her babies and they're following her. That's what you want. So that day in the bigger area helped them out, day and a half. So they learned to recognize Mom and realize that not every sheep is friendly, so they pay attention. I still catch the Jacob lambs trying to steal from some of the other ewes. I caught them again this morning. They took about 2 ounces each. They're starting to nurse on the bottle better. And so I'll just continue that twice a day, see how they do, because they definitely look like they're not getting as much milk as what the other lambs are. So we'll just keep at it and hopefully they'll start taking the bottle better. They are getting easier to catch. They're not quite as afraid of me. So that's an indication they're kind of starting to catch on. Feeding the afternoon grain on the lambs from October, and they're doing really well. They've adapted to this cold weather. I know in the opening titles I said, is it really that cold? Yes, it is. But they have adapted well. Everybody seems to be adapting. And this morning when I was out, it was, I don't know, 5 below. But no wind, sun shining, and I actually got warm. I'm dressed for it. So, as cold as it is, we do adapt, but it still is pretty cold out here. The does have adapted. That really long hair. That white doe there, I would bet, if I was a betting person, she will have triplets. But they're doing well. They're getting their grain once a day. Plus I keep the hay feeder full. So they have adjusted well. Dogs love the cold weather. I'm just laying there, basking in the coldness. But they've got really thick coats. These are the ewes, both pens, that were bred 4th and 5th, I believe. Anyway, today would be the 3rd day that they should have been back in heat, and none of them are, so I'm encouraged with that. So they've adapted well, and hopefully they're all pregnant. I know I stress the importance of having good quality mineral, but loose mineral, and have it the level for the lambs. Those 2 lambs are less than a week old, and they're up there nibbling on the milk. So it's very important for them to have a good source of free mineral, not the block mineral, but just the loose mineral. And I often see the lambs up there eating it. I've seen 3-day-old lambs eating on that, so it really helps them. Last thing this afternoon or this evening is to put down fresh straw. Got a good layer of bedding in here for them, new layer of straw. Put some fresh in there into the brooder lamps. These ewes here got a fresh layer. I'm going to have to take these panels apart and lift that up because the bedding pack obviously is getting deeper. We had straw in the manure, and so they're having to reach down. It's getting harder. So I'll just take that apart and lift those panels up here probably another day or two. But we're getting through this cold snap. I think the anticipation was worse than the actual experience of it. I think we're adapting. I know the animals are. Originally I said, is it really that cold? The answer is yes, but we're getting through it, and so far everything's going pretty well. So thanks again for joining us at Norwal Farm, and we will see you next time.